This is Kali from KK's newsroom. It is last day for students in KK's. We hope everyone enjoyed their time being in New Zealand. Today, reporters of KK's newsroom prepare detailed reports on the various sectors of New Zealand. We will connect a reporter who is at the main street of Auckland. Hello, Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve at Main Street in Auckland. I'm here to explain about relationship of New Zealand and Korea and nation of New Zealand. In July 4, 1949, New Zealand admission Korea officially. In 1950, when 625 War Week began, New Zealand sent 5,350 Army and Navy and made 119 people killed in war. March 1962, political relationship Bill June 1971. Korean Bill New Zealand Embassy. New Zealand Bill Korean Embassy. It means Korea and New Zealand's relationship is become more closer. Also, Korea and New Zealand made many agreements, especially trade agreement in 1967 and fishery agreement in 1978 and airway agreement in 1993. Until 1998, cost import is $209 million and cost export is $505 billion. It means Korea earned $300 million more than New Zealand. Korea usually exports fiber, metal, clothes, car, electronics stuff, and we usually import beef, wool, pulp, logging until 1997. In New Zealand, there were 9,841 immigrants and 2,147 Korean people. New Zealand nations are about 4 million people, 40 million people, so Korean people are 2.5% in New Zealand. But now, Korean people who live in New Zealand is increased, so in New Zealand there is a 5% Korean people in New Zealand. Now let's know about nation in New Zealand. New Zealand nation is 82% are European and most of European are English because New Zealand was colony of England. And 9% of nation is Maori and the other Indian or island group is 9%. New Zealand official language is English and language of Maori, but almost using English because 82% of nation are European. Maori is 2 of 3 using English and just 1 of 3 of Maori using the language of Maori. And some other islands using language of Samoa too. New Zealand is Christian country, but nations 1 of 4 don't have religion. Roman Catholic and Linka too is other. Nations 85% are live in city, and the biggest city in South Island is Christchurch, and Wellington, Auckland, Manukau are biggest city in North Island. The rate of national health and average of lifespan are male 47 and female is 80. So it means average lifespan is high too. The reason why they live longer is New Zealand is welfare country, so nation don't have to pay lots of money for the hospital. Finally, Korea and New Zealand has many differences, but they still make relationship each other. This is Steve from Main Street of Auckland, reporting back to you, Kali.
That was very clear information. Next, Clara and Alicia are at the Museum of History preparing on the history of New Zealand. Hello, Clara and Alicia.
Hello, this is Yeonjong and Haejin from Museum of New Zealand.
We are going to introduce about history of New Zealand. History of New Zealand is shorter than Korea. First, New Zealand was discovered by Polynesian. It might be about 1,000 years, but many people guess before 1,000 years, more than 2 to 3 centuries ago. At 18th century, 100,000 to 200,000 people of Maori lived in New Zealand. In 1642, Abel Tasman discovered the Westland coast, and he wanted to land on South Island, but he had conflict with Maori. In 1769 to 1770, Captain James Cook made a voyage around New Zealand and he made a map. He visited New Zealand. He conflicted with Maori at first time, but second time Maori were cooperative.
While early of Europeans settled on New Zealand, Australia's whale fishing. Also another activities were outgrowths. Exactly, Australia's companies built whale fishing factories. In 1839 to 1841, New Zealand was subject to colony New South Wales. In 1840, Maori handed over sovereignty of New Zealand to England because that handover had stipulations. The stipulations were take care of Maori and they want to guarantee their land ownership. But in 1847, the intermittent battle was with Maori, also continuing when colonialists submitted Maori completely. In 1852, followed the New Zealand Constitution law, be divided by 6 colonies, also entered government of New Zealand.
Maori didn't want to sell the important area. That made bad the relation of Maori and settlers. In 1860, White wanted to expel Maori, so they mobilized their armies, but they made to happen war. The war happened for these 10 years, but so British army, military, and standing on government Maori united, and then defeat opposite the sale of the land tribes. In middle of 19th century, found the gold brought to three colonies also came more than Europeans. But the North Island's economic development was inconvenience Maori world.
Early of 1880, for exploitation of refrigeratorship, farmers could shipment butter, cheese, and meat to England based on farm technology settled economy. In 1891 to 1912, the Liberal Party imported the Social Security system because they got power. Also, in 1892 to 1996, they encouraged a labor union formation and they enforced successful land policy most of that period. Richard Johnson was active the Prime Minister. In 1912, the Liberal Party was ousted by Reformation Party. Also leader of Reformation Party, William Fergus Moshi took power by the Prime Minister to 1925.
Middle of 1920, Reformation Party government enforced export selling proxy system policy, hereby established selling cooperation system about daily products or another product of New Zealand. While World War I and II, New Zealand offered militaries, wools, and food to England. New Zealand entered World War I that made big expand export trade, but that brought west the toll of leaves.
New Zealand entered World War II that started by dispatching armies to Europe's battlefield. However, after 1941, New Zealand was implicated in the Pacific Ocean because they received directly Japanese attack. This is Yeonjung and Jin.
Reporting back to you, Kali.
Thank you, Clara and Alicia. That was a great lesson on history. Now I can actually say I'm Kiwi. Next, Jessica is at the Supreme Court. We will try to connect her. We are experiencing technical difficulties of the moment. We will try later. Now Dayan is at the top of Mount Victory. He will be sharing information on climate and environment of New Zealand. Hello Dayan.
This is Dayan, Mount Victoria. As you know, New Zealand is well known for beautiful nature, the largest dairy farming industry country in the world. Also, there are many nature reserves in New Zealand. New Zealand organizes North Island and South Island. North Island is more sluggish than South Island. North Island includes 80% of the mountain area. However, South Island includes 70% of mountain area. So North Island has enough field to raise the cattle, especially dairy farming is most advanced industry in the world. New Zealand has many rivers, most rivers short. Among them, Waikato River is the longest river in the New Zealand. So this river uses hydroelectric planet. Most part of around the Waikato is using to raise the cattle. So around the Waikato is well known for dairy farming. Climate of New Zealand similar with climate of Korea. New Zealand spread top and bottom and food ranks. On a newer range is huge as Korea. Sometimes difference between northeast part and southeast part degrees is over the 6 degrees. New Zealand located on South Hemisphere, so New Zealand has opposite season with Korea. For example, if Korea is summer, New Zealand is winter. So that's why New Zealand spend the Christmas holiday while hot summer. As I mentioned, New Zealand is well known for beautiful nature. However, at rest, area of forest decreased rapidly, so New Zealand made an effort to save the forest from cruelly development, but it was unsuccessful. At this moment, declining of forest area become a most influential issue. Kiwi, which animal represent New Zealand, this bird can fly like the other bird, and it seems like a bunch of the thread. New Zealand is close with earthquake belt. Earthquake occur in New Zealand for several times because New Zealand located between Pan and Pan. Recently, huge earthquake occurred in the Christchurch. It took a big damage for the Christchurch. So New Zealand coping with the due to nature of rainfall. They progressed the geometrical power. Finally, geometrical power became a main industry in New Zealand. This is Dayon from Mountain Victoria. Thank you. Reporting back to you, Kali.
Next, Chloe is at the Chamber of Commerce preparing for general reports of economy of New Zealand. Hello, Chloe.
Hello, this is Chloe from Chambers of Commerce. New Zealand economy is market economy. The economic of New Zealand depends on the export, therefore the economic growth speed is slow. Particularly it stress professing trade that require imported scale of economy is small due to little population and also New Zealand is developed country. Korea has too many people for its limited land space. The standard of living in New Zealand was high, but after the World War II, New Zealand economic stagnated because of built-in economic stagnation and high barrier of exporting country. So New Zealand government has been expanded and improved the base of the manufacturing industry to build a internationally economy. New Zealand works in the primary industry that it is the reason they consider the production industry as the most important thing. New Zealand is a welfare state. Social welfare budget accounting for over 33% of our total budget is expensive. The tax is not so expensive, but highly relying on direct tax. New Zealand people think it's my duty to pay for every benefit they receive. This is Chloe from Chambers of Commerce, reporting back to you, Kali.
Next, Luna is at the beehive waiting to report on the structure of politics in New Zealand. Let's hear it from Luna. Hello, Luna.